Hey guys, I'm Marissa and welcome back to my channel. Here on my channel we talk about life and money and especially budgeting because I am a huge budget nerd, and today I'm sharing a mock budget for an $80,000 annual income. But before we get into it, I wanted to let you guys know that if you're wanting to get the budget template that I'm using here, and also the budget template that I use for my personal household budget, I have that listed for sale on my shop. I will have a link to that in the description box down below so you can check it out if you're interested. It's a little more extensive of a version than what I'm showing you today, but for the purposes of today's video, I'm just showing you like a really simple example of budgeting. Also, I do share my personal household budget here on YouTube, so if you're interested in wanting to see what that budget looks like, I will have a link to our household budget playlist down below and also in the card up above so you can check it out. And don't forget to subscribe if you are new to my channel so that you won't miss any new budgeting videos. So today I'm going to show you an $80,000 annual income mock budget. And this is just totally an example and a sample of what you could do if your income is around $80,000. This is how I would personally budget if this was my income level. And I really want to stress that because your budget is going to vary depending on your lifestyle, your circumstances, and the financial goals that you're wanting to accomplish. So definitely take that with a grain of salt and know that this isn't exactly how you should be budgeting, but this is how I would personally budget if it were me. Also, a lot of times budgeting is really just based on percentages, and there are a lot of categories in your budget that you should really just stick to a percentage, which may kind of stay the same even through different levels of income. So for today's budget, it really is going to be a lot based on percentages rather than just specific numbers of what you should be spending. So I just want to reiterate, this is totally a guide and there are a lot of different customizations you can make in your personal budget to make it fit you. So let's get into the budget here. The top line item that we have here is income. And for my personal budget, I have my husband's income and my income as individual line items, and that way I'm able to track each of our individual income streams. But for the purpose of this budget, we just have all lumped together here. And we have the take-home pay for this income to be around $5,200 a month. So if you're making $80,000 a year, you obviously are going to have to pay taxes, and that's definitely going to vary depending on where you live and also your tax circumstances. So I know that if you make $80,000, this may not be exactly what you are taking home, but it could be close to this amount. So for the purposes of this sample and of this budget, I have it at $5,200 as a take-home pay for making $80,000 a year. So this is a zero-based budget, which means that all of our income equals all of the money out, whether that is going to an expense or to savings. And that's so important because we want to make sure every dollar has a name and every dollar is assigned a place. And this also helps ensure that we're not spending more money than we're actually taking home, which is very important. So now to show you where we could allocate all of the money that we're bringing home on an income of $80,000. First off is giving, and I have this at $520, which is 10% of the take-home pay for this income. And I know that a lot of people may not agree with me on this. Again, I'm sharing this as this is how I would budget if this were my income level. So this is what I would do. My husband and I, we've just always had giving be something that's important to us, and first in our budget to give 10% of our take-home pay away. So that's just for us. And if this is not applicable to you, that's totally fine. You can put this money towards something else in your budget. But for us personally, giving has just been important and we just keep it in our budget, so I'm going to include it in this mock budget here. But again, budgets are totally customizable to your circumstances. Next we have is rent or mortgage, and we have that at $1,300, which is 25% of the take-home pay. So this is that one percentage that's very important to really try and stick to. I would say that your rent or mortgage should be around 25, no more than 30% of your take-home pay, because you really want to ensure that you're not going to be house poor. You don't want to be spending too much on your rent or mortgage payment, which would allow you to not be able to spend money on other fun things or even working on your financial goals. So keeping that around 25% is a really great goal to have. $1,300 a month though, I know may be a little difficult for some people depending on where you live. If you live in a rural area, I'm sure you can find something for $1,300. My husband and I live in Portland, Oregon, and our last apartment that we rented was a 2-bed, 2-bath. It was a really nice apartment, but we spent over $1,450 each month on that apartment. So it's definitely going to vary depending on your location. That being said, if you're a single person who's making this much money, but you want to live in a nicer home, then you may have to consider taking on a roommate or working towards increasing your income so that you can afford that. This is one of those percentages, again, that's really important to try and stick to. The next line item that we have is utilities, and we have that at $390. So utilities would be things like water, garbage, sewer, electric, natural gas, if that's applicable, and also like phone and internet. So all of those sorts of monthly utility bills. And I have us all lumped together in one line item to be $390, which is 7.5%. But for your budget, you may want to have a separate line item for each of these bills, and that's what we do for our personal budget, just so that I can track each of those expenses a lot easier. But as a total for all utilities, should be around $390. The next we have is insurance, which is also $390 or 7.5%. And this can be insurance for things like healthcare, car insurance, and life insurance. So for my husband and I personally, our health insurance gets taken out of our paychecks. So we actually don't see that as a line item in our household budget because that's already taken care of before it even hits our bank account. It's already taken care of in our net pay that we see come into our household. So you won't see health insurance in our budget, but you will see car insurance and life insurance because those are after we get paid. So that is a number that you may want to aim for around insurance expenses. Next we have is groceries, and we have $520 here for groceries, which is 10%. Honestly, I feel like this is a little high depending on your size of family. So for my husband and I, we actually make more than $80,000 a year, and we spend about $250 to $300 a month on groceries. And we have been a family of 2. I know that I'm actually filming this video a little bit earlier. By the time that this video goes up, we should have a baby here with us. I'm trying to get ahead on filming videos, but while we've been a family of 2, we've been spending $250 to $300 on groceries, and we will go out to eat maybe 2 or 3 times a month, but everything else we just eat at home with groceries. So it's definitely doable to trim this down depending on your family size. The next line item that we have is transportation or gas, and this is also $520 or 10%. Again, I think that this is still a bit too high. My husband and I spend about $150 a month on gas for our cars. We do have to have some sort of routine car maintenance, but it's really honestly not that much because we have really reliable cars. But for this line item, I would include things like gas for your car. You would have a bus pass if that would be applicable to you, or car maintenance would be in this category. And again, this is probably a little bit high. You could probably reduce this to be able to put more money towards things like accomplishing financial goals. Next we have is fun and entertainment. So this is going to be things like eating out or going to the movies, going on a date night, to a concert, those sorts of events and things. And we have this at $260 or 5% of the budget. The next line item that we have is miscellaneous, and this is so important to have in your budget. You always want to have a miscellaneous category because there's always going to be something that comes up through the month that you weren't necessarily planning for, and having a miscellaneous category allows you to have somewhere to put it. Some things that we would put to miscellaneous were things like paper towels or toilet paper, like when we didn't really have much of a household expense, as well as like if I needed mascara, then it was something small and I would just go here. So if it's something that maybe isn't enough to be justified as its own line item in your budget, you could just put it to miscellaneous. And that we have again at $260, and that's 5% of the budget. So now to move into the savings line items of the budget in this next section. So I would include saving or paying off debt to be this financial goal that you're working towards, whether you're working on saving for an emergency fund, paying off your debt aggressively, or working towards saving for retirement. So this is the extra money that you can use to work on those financial goals. And in this budget, we have at $780 or 15% of the budget. And this number, if you have debt payments that are more than this number, then obviously you're going to need to trim out some other things in your budget up above so that you can put more towards paying off debt. Also, depending on how serious you are at paying off debt and saving, you may want to trim some of these additional expenses out of your budget so that you can do so. And we'll talk more about that in just a little bit. So the next line item that we have is personal spending, and we have that at $260 or 5% of the budget. So personal spending would be things that is just like fun money to spend. Like this is your full permission to spend on whatever you want. So my husband and I each get $100 a month of personal spending money, and we can do whatever we want with it. And I love having this in our budget because we don't need to ask each other for permission before we spend it. And I actually really like having this in the savings section of my budget because we can decide to either save or spend that money that month. And that way we can save up for something bigger that we may want. Like I recently bought myself a pair of AirPods with my personal spending money. So I want to show you real fast how this works in this budget template if you're interested in getting the budget template. But once you put in your actual amount that you ended up saving for, the template then calculates what your ending balance may be so that you can see what your like rollover, like month to month balance is going to be. You just need to copy the ending balance to put it in your beginning balance for next month. And then you can kind of keep track of how much you have going forward in that account. So that's why I really like having that here. So $260 honestly is maybe a little bit higher depending on, again, your family size. But my husband and I, we each got $25 of personal spending money when we were first married and getting out of debt, which we had a lower income. But when our income was around $80,000, we each got about $50 a month of personal spending money. So that provides any other sort of context for you. So as a grand total, you can see that we've allocated $5,200 in our budget, which is exactly what our income is, meaning that we have a zero-based budget and every dollar's been assigned a name. But let's talk about if you really want to work on getting out of debt or saving, whatever that financial goal may be, as soon as possible. Here's some things that I think that you could trim down to be able to work more on those goals. First off, groceries. Honestly, I think that you could do this if you have a household of 2 or 3 people. Being able to get down to like $300 a month is super doable. If you want to learn more about trimming your grocery budget, I have a whole video about how we've been able to save on groceries, which I'll leave a link up above. Next, transportation. Again, I think that this is really high. We spend $150 a month on gas. So I think that having maybe $200 in the transportation budget should be doable. Next, fun and entertainment. Obviously, if you're really trying to work on financial goals, this is something that's definitely going to get trimmed out. So you could put like $100 to this. Miscellaneous could even be down a little bit more, maybe at like $200. And then personal spending money, we could put this down to maybe like $150. I think that still allows for a lot of entertainment of personal spending that you can do throughout the month. And as you can see in the budget template here, it shows the difference that we still have to allocate. So $870 remaining. So we'll put the rest of this to our financial goal to be $1,650. And as you can see, that's 31.73% of the budget. So those are just some things that I could see trimming down a little bit more to be able to really work on that next financial goal if you're really serious about it. So if you're interested in getting the budget template that I'm using today as a more extended version, obviously, you can check that out with the link in the description box down below. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more budgeting videos. And I will look forward to seeing you guys in the next one. Bye.